Before Schools of the Future, I thought that I taught biology. Now I know that I teach children.
Before SOTF, I used to think that Montessori and technology would never integrate. But now I know that the pioneering vision of Maria Montessori over 100 years ago actually supports today's greatest tech advancements. Did you know that the founders of Google were Montessori grads? Thanks to SOTF, we've incorporated new technology into the classrooms and with our faculty that's allowed us to broaden our creative, hands-on experiences and increase collaboration. Mahalo for the opportunity, Hawaii Community Foundation and HAIS.
When I started this process, I really, two things came to mind. Number one, I wanted to provide our students with a very rich instructional experience.
And see students actively engaged, see them owning the work. Teachers are much more guides than instructors.
The SOF committee really has brought a lot of people together, made lots of connections, and technology is part of it, but it's that 21st century learning which is really driving it.
Since Schools of the Future, I would now say that I have seen constructivist education in practice through inquiry-based learning.
5 years ago, I sat in a dark room on a Wednesday afternoon, overwhelmed by the vast possibilities that the SOF camp had proposed to us as a faculty. 5 years later, I don't feel overwhelmed anymore. I feel stronger. I have better information on how to incorporate technology into my practice. Our ability to communicate with one another as a faculty has given me little insights into the people I get to be with every day, and the opportunities for professional development have been profound in how they impact my practice.
Before, I used to think that Friday faculty meetings should be administrator-led so that we could get more done. However, since being with SOTF, we learned about a lot of collaboration and have transformed those meetings into times in which teachers are leading each other and they're learning together, like a PLC should be.
Since the grant, change has been extremely rapid, and this time it's been driven by the students and teachers. I never could have imagined my teachers taking such great risks to learn new tools, rethinking how they teach on a day-to-day basis, and putting themselves out there by speaking at conferences and collaborating with other teachers and turning over their classroom to be a more student-driven environment.
Before Schools of the Future, I used to think having computers in the classroom could be helpful, but now I know that they are.
Before SOTF, I used to think Montessori would never use technology. But now I know, looking at how fast technology is advancing, why wouldn't we add tech into our curriculum? By introducing devices and teacher dashboard, it has changed the way teachers stay on top of their daily work by allowing them to monitor students' e-portfolios. We've noticed more student engagement since SOTF.
The first year when we did have the outside consultants come in, they were saying you have people on your campus who are doing these things. Find them and put them out there. You know, get them to share what they're doing, and then we can learn from each other.
And so the overall culture on campus and the general pedagogy on campus has changed to be more inclusive, to be more facilitative, and to put students' needs first.
Now we ask the students, what are you interested in learning? And they lead the way. The depth of education is led by them, and it's been a phenomenal experience and opportunity both for teachers and for students.
Have the students be the ones to really drive where the curriculum's going with their interests, and in doing so, they are so much more enthusiastic and hungry to learn all the skill sets that we do in kindergarten.
They're running the class, really, which is kind of, what we want. They're learning the most. So this sort of seamless integration has been a big impact in the pedagogy and in what students come away with.
Thanks to the flipped classroom model, I know that my students are benefiting from using that in-class time to complete what used to be homework. They're collaborating with peers, I'm available for help, and we have the opportunity to do some fun projects that we used to not have time for.
Technology is still an interesting tool, but it now shows us so many more possibilities for enriching project-based learning through connecting students to a broader audience, helping students, teachers, and our community to connect to new places in the world, and allowing more diverse ways for children to create and to show their thinking and learning, plus new ways for assessment of critical thinking as well as self-assessment.
Over the past 5 years teaching here at Hongganji, the middle school math program, I feel that my strategy has changed because I used to feel like I had to rely on myself, but as a result of this grant, I've gotten a lot more connected with other resources, with other staff members. I've been provided with constant training and the ability to reach out for more support.
After 5 years of Schools of the Future, I really feel there is a swell taking place where other teachers, many teachers, far more creative and innovative than I am, are joining with me to create exciting new opportunities with new technologies for students.
Our early studies and discussion really helped us to expand our ideas on what kind of skills our students would need.
And I think that what we didn't really have a clear picture of prior to participating in the grant was the real changes taking place in the workforce and how our students need to be prepared for a world that is nothing like the world we went to work in. And participating in the grant really let us take a chance to look at what kind of skills does the modern student need to have. And they're much more skewed toward creativity and flexibility and adaptation and the ability to think on their feet because the world's constantly changing now.
The Schools of the Future initiative has taught me that the skills that are needed for success in college and beyond are what I really need to be focusing on in the classroom, rather than memorization of content. How I've transformed my classroom is through doing more collaborative work, scientific inquiry, and other activities that allow the students to work on those skills so that they can practice and be ready so that when they go to college and when they get their career, they can do things like think creatively and analyze, and they will be much more successful for their future.
Since the SOTF initiative has been here at Hanalani, I've been going to the conferences each year, going to the COLs. I got to go to ISTE in San Diego. I've been learning more about trying to get the kids engaged in what they're learning.
After going to the Schools of the Future conference, I now know what programs I can use because I met instructors who were using them and they were teacher tested, and I was able to implement those in my studies.
More importantly, it put us in contact with other people at other schools and even within our own schools who were interested in technology in the classroom. That's certainly been as valuable as the money.
After going through the process and learning that if you have the right support and the tools of the people who can help you to achieve this use of technology, you can do amazing things in the classroom, like international communities with other schools in the world.
For me, it's more an attitude change. I used to think that technology, well, any learning was something I had to know before I taught it to the children. But I find that with technology, it advances at such a fast rate that, even if I were smarter and found a way to know it all, I don't think I could. And so it's a matter of trusting that the children and I will learn together, and then a lot of times they know and I don't. So I get to come up with this project and go, okay, let's just get at it and see what happens. And we learn the most marvelous thing.
As well as to offer more flexibility and more student voice in our school, to bring out our students' curiosities, to help them begin to focus on their passions early in their lives, and to try to find their niche in the world.
We now have classrooms with computers and iPads, aquaponics, gardens, so many opportunities for the students to learn outside of textbooks, workbooks, paper and pencil.
The last 3 years I've had iPads with my kids and they just adore them.
Having the iPad in the grant has helped my learning because we can, instead of using a paper or pencil, we can now build it in class. For example, we were building Ahupuas in class with Minecraft. So we actually get to experience building things that the Hawaiians would build back then.
I think using the iPads has really helped because now we can learn things in science, or when we were learning about the human body, we could learn about the parts of the human body without having to go through tons and tons of books.
Our school used the grant money to launch a one-on-one iPad program. The iPads have really changed the way we work in the classroom. we have a lot more choices in deciding how to present something. And we have a whole range of tools to do that with. As a result of the Schools of the Future program, we at Iolani School have started a one-to-one iPad program. I got my iPad as a junior and I love it. My favorite thing about it is that now our classes can now be paperless. Teachers give us the freedom to create our own projects and presentations, which is something I also really enjoy. I love communicating my ideas through the iPad with my teachers and my peers. With our computers, we have the opportunity to make digital portfolios of our work. Instead of forgetting our work as soon as we finish, we reflect our work and put the picture and the reflection of our work in our portfolios. Showing our work in the portfolios makes the work more meaningful because it shows the pride we have in our work. And we also choose the work that's the most important to us.
It's easier to have your own computer and not to share it with other people, because if your documents go unexpectedly missing, you can't blame it on anybody except for yourself.
When I have electronics, it makes it easier to carry around, makes it lighter on my back, neater lockers.
Google Drive has benefited me in many ways, and it's much more better than having to write everything by hand, and it's much more easier to collaborate with other people, and using the presentation feature has really helped me also. Google Drive has helped me a lot.
Over the past 5 years, I've noticed our school has become increasingly paperless, and so it's been a really good change for our school because we're using more Google Drive to turn in our work.
In middle school, creativity is a really big component. You have to be original and not copy other people.
Even till now, I still remember everything we've learned from 9th and 10th grade, and I'm a junior now. So that's, to me, is astonishing as that's able to happen. But that's all thanks to like the different types of learning that are implemented now.
Well, I like learning that way because it's more independent.
It's more fun also, and you also get to learn more instead of just like practicing all these things over and over and over again. With the project, you get to learn why you did that and what's the point of doing it.
You actually get to look for things, and when you see something that you want to do, you can pretty much make it happen, because like the teachers aren't telling you every single thing, so you have a little bit more freedom now so you get to like experience new things.
In online classes, I've learned how to communicate better. So through infographics or videos or anything like that, I've learned how to promote things and better market things for school activities.
Some of the things we are learning about to become entrepreneurs is we are making market surveys, business plans, business cards, and websites, and using our creativity to make businesses.
Using Skype in our online classroom has made it more helpful because instead of a normal traditional classroom, you actually have a bigger voice to use, and it causes you to be more engaged in the conversation because it's so more of a one-on-one in each other's conversations.
I feel like the teachers have become a lot more flexible, and they've been integrating students' ideas into the curriculum. And that's really beneficial because it makes it so learning in school is a lot more fun and interesting.
Before Schools of the Future, I found it difficult to stay focused in class. But now that I'm involved in the other students' thoughts and perspectives on the matter, I find it more easier and enjoyable to do. In TOK, Theory of Knowledge class that I take, I communicate through Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook and all these social medias to extend my knowledge and my understanding of the world and questions that I have about the world to others.
Before Schools of the Future, learning was a challenge. With the technology given to students today, we are given the opportunity to work efficiently. This helps young women like me to be prepared for and succeed in the real world.
One of the things that I think our school got right about the grant was it didn't see it as things that were going to happen in separate schools. The three principals sat down and they thought about this comprehensively as a whole school initiative.
So all of those things immediately come to mind when I think of what we were or who we were then and what we are in the process of becoming, the school, not of the future, but the school of the present.
And their work, there's going out. It's on the course website, the school website, bulletin boards, academic social networks. These students are totally engaged, and the stakes are high, and the work they're doing is relevant, passionate, interesting. This is the new education.
Before Schools of the Future, I used to think school was boring, but now I'm excited to go to class and I'm engaged in the hands-on activities.
I love working with the SOTF teacher community. Let's stay in touch.
It's been exciting, and we couldn't be happier. Thank you.